So it's kind of late and I'm ready for bed, and like I usually do, watch videos that either Kelly and I have done on our podcast or that I've done, just to kind of critique myself, to try to make myself better at speaking and talking about things. And there's one specific topic that I kind of wanted to discuss, or talk about. And watching the podcast that Kelly and I did the other day, um, kind of inspired me to go in depth a little bit more on the subject of what is connection versus attachment. And I know I've done a video on this in the past, probably about a month ago, I think. Um, and I haven't even watched it in a while. I just feel like I have more clarity on what this means, and I kind of really want to, you know, drive it home, so to speak, in what I feel the connection and or what the differences between connection and attachment are. Um, to me, when you connect with somebody and you have an investment of emotion with that person, and you've fallen in love with them, um, it's easier. For instance, say they need space. This is just something that usually happens, especially in a new relationship, probably early on. You know, somebody's really wants to assess what's going on and really want to be sure that they're feeling what they're feeling is real or it's not. And that's good. And especially, and this is both for men and women because both of them go through it. It's not just for women. If a man or a woman tells you that they need space, I mean, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. So I just wanted to kind of stress that if they ask for space, and if you love them, this is the thing. Then giving them space is a good thing. More so a good thing if you love yourself. Because when you're able to hold space for somebody, and this is going off of the topic a little bit, because you love them, that's showing them that you love them. And either way, if that person comes back and says, they're not feeling, that this is going to work, or they're more or less breaking it off, then you kind of, it's a free flowing when you love somebody. Especially if you love yourself first. You can't get to that level if you don't love yourself first. Because for one, why would you want to be or invest more into somebody that doesn't love you like you love them? I mean, you're only hurting yourself. And that's where the attachment comes in. If they need space and you're upset about it, or you're freaking out about it, or you're, trying to hold on to them and cling to them, then you're not loving yourself the way you should. Because that's an attachment. You're a codependent on this person. I'm trying to think of a good example. And I've caught myself being this way too in the past. Is, not wanting to let go of somebody, freaking out when they want space. That's an attachment thing. That's showing you first that you need this person to fulfill a certain part of your life because you can't feel that yourself. That's an attachment. If you love somebody, you allow them that space that they need, And if they come back and they have a better understanding, they've found clarity in what they were seeking with that time and space, and they want to be with you, that's wonderful. If they come back and, found clarity with that time and space, and they don't think this is a good match or a good time, then that's wonderful too. Because really they're doing you an honor by, assessing how they're feeling and not wanting to waste more of your time. Okay? That doesn't say that, they don't care about you, or they don't, obviously they honor you because they're honoring their self first, and they're honoring you as well. They're honoring your time, your value, your dignity. They're not holding on to you. That's really what attachment is. If somebody's not feeling that they love you and they need space, and then they let you go, then they're essentially disattaching from you. But if they realize that they do love you and there are feelings there, that changes a lot. It shows you that they respect your time, they respect themselves and their feelings and their heart, the same with yours, by needing that space, by disattaching themselves. The same with boundaries. Like I said in a video recently with Kelly and I, when someone hurts you, whether it be family or a friend or someone someone you're in love with, if they hurt you and they continue to do the same thing, the pattern continues, and you finally say, you know what? Set a boundary. And you set that boundary and you honor it by not allowing them to break that boundary or cross that boundary. And if they honor that boundary, then that's saying that I love you, but this is hurting me. So this is what's going to have to happen. And that goes right along with needing space. When someone says they need space, they're setting a boundary. I love you, or I care about you, and this needs to happen right now. And by loving them, unconditionally loving them, you allow them that space. That is called love. That is called connection. That is called freedom. And that's what love is. Love is allowing somebody to be who they are, to do what they need to do, to honor them, respect them. That's love. That's a connection. And if you feel connected to them, then you will allow them to do that. If you feel attached to them, then you'll get mad. You'll get mad at the boundaries because you're codependent on them. You'll get mad at, if they need time, you'll be like, oh my gosh, freaking out because you're attached to them. And that's why it's so important, before you become intimate with somebody, to be sure you're on the same page. If you're really looking for somebody and you love them and you're connected to them and you feel that, there's something more than just, something casual there. If you feel that way, that's wonderful. But if they are, if they're, setting a boundary or needing space and time, then your love for them would allow them to do that. And that goes with anybody. I have family that I've had to set pretty strong boundaries with. I've had, because I love them and I want to see them do better. So it's important, and that separates the attachment from the connection. That separates, do I really need this person to survive and to be happy? Maybe your answer is yes. And if that's the case, then maybe you need to love yourself a little bit more. Do I want this person in my life? Absolutely. Of course, if you love somebody, you want them in your life. So ask yourself questions like, will I still love them no matter what our relationship looks like 2 months from now, or 6 months, or a year from now? Will I still love this person? Will me not being with this person change my love for them? As far as stop loving them? And if that answer is no, then you love them. That's real love. If you see this person happy in a couple months and that happiness doesn't include you, are you going to still love them? Why do you still love them? Because you love yourself. This has been a hard lesson for me. I hope it helps somebody. Are you happy for them? If you do, then you love them. If you want to see them do well. If you do, then you love them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or you can have love for them. Does it mean that you're in love with them? I hope not, because that shit hurts. But you can still love them and be happy for them. If you feel resentment or you feel jealous, like if there was somebody else, then that may not be real love. Anyway, I hope that made sense. My video is 12.5 minutes long, so, and it's late and I'm still watching videos, but I just kind of wanted to get that off my chest. I thought that was a pretty good, interesting point to make, even though it's late and everything. So anyway, good night.